Hello everyone. Welcome to listen a selected topic. First of all, I would like to offer my thanks and gratitude to the organizing committee for inviting me to present here a topic related to literature and art in this prestigious global conclave. Dear friends, you must know we're struggling with a long-term pandemic situation that has already changed our lifestyle and restricted our social movement and activities too. We don't know how long we have to go in this way. Definitely, it has a great impact on our culture, literature, and all other artistic activities. Dear friends, we have to face new challenges to set up us newly with new prospect and for its performing what terms and conditions we should bear in mind. My today's topic is related to that. Dear friends, the topic I have selected to present here is facing challenges in changing scenario related to literature and art. My dear friends, my dear loving brothers and sisters, we obviously know that no creativity likes to be a block universe. It often likes to welcome new age, new generation, and new experience. So, naturally, it's experimental. And in this experimental way, it achieves its progression. But you know, tradition is a part for the progression. So, we want to break it. We need it to meet up the creative demand of different situation, changing scenario, or to welcome the new age and generation, solve the contemporary crisis, face the new challenges, and be inspired with new hopes and aspirations. Dear friends, we can never ignore its necessity, so we have to break tradition. But how it will be achieved, my dear friends? Answer may be what? You know, another tradition will be appeared before us. But why? Because when we go to break a tradition, we have to do it with a new system. Because without any system, it's not done. And when this process or system is accepted massively, it will be turning to be a new tradition. It means tradition itself not a problem at all. Then, what's the real problem? In fact, problem is traditionalism, my dear friends. Actually, we break tradition with a view to making a better system that should be contemporary, comparatively more modern, and hopefully suitable to the new demand. When it's achieved, we call it progress. It should be proved better than the existing tradition. Otherwise, it will be meaningless logically and applicably. Not only that, my dear friends, it may be suicidal too if it's against the basic nature and feature of the existing objects. So, before breaking it, we utmost need think freely and intellectually about all of its outcomes. My dear friends, In this connection, I will suggest you to make a list of its positive and negative sides and carefully observe the subject matter is at stake or not. Dear friends, let's discuss the matter on poetry. You know, poetry is an art, in fact, a high class art, and many traditions are existing in composing it. You know, poetry is not a science, metaphysics, history, or something like that, in which some rules and regulations literally can be applied. Poetry may not be grammar or logic, but it must have an identity, feature, and philosophy, concept, and outlook, like other meaningful objects. They may be explicit or abstract, or at least symbolic. Certainly, it has a nature and scope, formative identities, rules, and techniques through which it shows and proves its distinction from other literary objects. My dear friends, it's true, these are not unbreakable, yet we can't define poetry as an art of out of order. So, while breaking tradition, we should consider that its nature, feature, and culture, and what should be removed and what should be preserved. Most importantly, I would like to emphasize here that we can never uproot the whole system that ruins the reality of the subject matter. Simple to say, we shouldn't take such kind of process that makes its existence risky. We also should bear in mind this process is not revolutionary. It's actually an evolutionary process, my dear friends. We know that naturally poetry or almost all other artistic creativities are mainly subjective, but they can't ignore objectivity. Why? Why I am telling this? It's because of natural objects supply their elements for forming poetry, writing story, or portraying painting, and so on. These are things, beings, phenomenon, its effects, relation, action, interaction, all kinds of cooperations, terms and conditions, human feelings, emotion, compassion, hopes and aspirations, struggling for surviving, distress, fate, and all kinds of values like religious, scientific, ethical, social, philosophical, global, and lifestyle, culture, tradition, peace, progress, and humanity, civility, and prosperity. What not, my dear friends? Suppose poetry perceives its formative sensitivities from natural objects. These are experienced intellectually, realized introspectively, and enriched intuitively. All these processes are insightfully done. That results in a soulful something which is aesthetical. All these are focused in a combination of aesthetic feeling of poetic beauty. It's a feeling of appearance and reality, though it is sensational. It assimilates absolute feeling of spiritual experience. It's temporal, but it crosses time and holds an eternity, an understandable world of ideality. It is both traditional and modern. Again, modern and postmodern in sense and sensitivity, thinking and creativity. Its tendency is always postmodern. It is a constant truth about poetry, my dear friends. So, poetry can't ignore objective liabilities we should bear in mind. Dear friends, we know aesthetic feeling is the motto of all kinds of artistic creativities, but it should not be defined as an only individual experience, as it is inevitably related to all, to everything in objects, nature, etc. Not achieved ignoring other happiness, causing distress or dissatisfaction, and so certainly related to the goodwill, and thus it is human. We can't ignore it, my dear friends. So, we can conclude here that it's not devoid of great human values like individuality, liberality, freedom of speech and thought, etc. True artistic sense should never be blocked or extremist, rather, should be free thoughtful, well wisher, and human aesthetic. But our modernist friends say while art is objective, it is limited by its object. And then there remains no art, actually, and it's a self-situated enjoying beauty. But my dear friends, I should like to ask them, what is beauty? What is the reality of beauty? My dear friends, it's a feeling of pleasure, touchy to our sensitivities. But how? No way to depict it in a specific way. And so many kinds are existing there, corporeal and incorporeal, natural and supernatural, personal and social, Dutch, emotional, psychological, ethical, philosophical, and so on. If they grow a feeling of beauty, then naturally will be a part of art, my dear friends. And actually is a part of subjectivity. Here, subjectivity along with objectivity makes a creative solidarity of feeling beauty. If it is perfectly done, it holds an absolute beauty of truth. And it is the center of feeling aesthetic beauty for both artist and art seeker. So, humanistic appeal or commitment is inevitably related to the nature of art and literature. If there is no true beauty or goodwill in its nature, feature, and culture, it will be then bottomless basket, dear friends. My dear gentlemen, art and poetry loving brothers and sisters. Lastly, I would like to say extremism or traditionalism is a cause for any civilization, and synthesis process is the real applicable way of the serial evolution or a systematic progression. For its achievement, characteristic trends and outcomes should be marked, criticized, analyzed, evaluated, and cultured. Negatives should be marked and removed, and positives should be preserved. It's must for reforming a civilization as well as a new tradition of literature and art. That's all, my friend. Thank you everyone for listening my topic. Thank you again.